Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So you know the drill. Today we are going to be doing a try on favourites for the month of September. That's right. So I haven't especially found a new primer this month that I've been enjoying, so I'm just using my MAC Prep and Prime. This is the yellow, the radiant yellow one. It's really nice and hydrating. It doesn't do anything like superhero power primer or anything, but it's a nice standard primer. I'm going to start also by putting some of the Bali Body Coconut Lip Balm on. This has got SPF 15 in it and it's so soothing. It's really, really light. It doesn't feel like heavy or sticky or anything like that on your lips. I'll quite often put this on before my lipstick, or I'll put it on over the top of my lipstick and gives a glossy finish, or I'll just wear it by itself. But I have been putting this on a lot just while I'm getting ready, just to help my lips, because winter is coming and my lips are falling apart. But I've been loving that. It just feels lovely on the lips. So I've also been obsessed with the Groundwork Paint Pot by MAC. When I'm getting ready for school run or just mega in a rush, this stuff is just the quickest way to just give a bit of life to your eye. Because it's a paint pot, it's got quite a good amount of coverage, so it does cover up all of my redness and my veins on my eye, and it just gives a hint of a nice sort of bit of smoky colour. I'm just putting that on with my Zoeva 142 concealer buffer, and it's just literally so quick and easy to whack on. Just gonna zoom you in so you can actually see what the heat I'm doing. So yeah, so I kind of just buff that basically all over the lid, and it just kind of gives you just something, just a hint of something, covers up all your redness and discoloration. I don't take it all the way up to the brow, obviously. I'm just kind of buffing it there. And then sometimes I'll just take a little bit of whatever bronzer I'm using. This is from the Hourglass palette I'm going to use in a minute. Just going to take the bronzer and just kind of blend out the edges of that. And that's literally what I do every single day pretty much at the moment when I'm in a rush. It's just really quick and easy. I don't have a new mascara, so I'm just going to whack on my Lancome Monsieur Big, because that is what I use 99.9% of the time. It is my obsession, my favourite ever. So I did really enjoy the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light Soft Matte. That's the reformulated Double Wear Light this month. I picked up 2 shades and got samples in that one, and I will link my full review down below. But the other one completely trumps this one for me. Estee Lauder's shades are always slightly tricky for me, especially in the winter, which we're coming into now. And it's not my kind of go-to type of foundation, because it is matte, and it does look, you know, matte. And generally that's not what I go for, but I would love to have it in my collection for certain occasions, because it was so long wearing and just completely resistant to anything, smudge proof, transfer proof, bulletproof. And I really liked it for that category of foundations, more so than the original Double Wear, and probably more so than the Huda foundation. Because I've got a full size of the Huda, I kind of feel like I'm just going to use that up. But this guy, I purchased this in another shade because the one that I used in my review was much too light for me. A few people actually commented saying that they thought that shade was a really good match for me, and I mean, no, it was not. I don't know, it's sometimes hard for things to translate on camera, but I honestly looked ill. I will show you a photo actually in daylight of that foundation on. But yeah, no. It was too light, so I picked up the shade Golden Beige, and this for me is much better. It's much closer to my body. It's much more my shade. I've been loving this foundation. The other day I posted a picture of me wearing it to Instagram, and all I had on was this foundation and one of the Daniel Sandler blushes that I did a video on, and it's just so natural, so quick and easy for school runs or every day or work or whatever. Literally 2 products, and it was Just fresh, youthful, glowing, really like it. But I will warn you, if you possibly can get a sample of this, then do so, because it seems to be like real Marmite. Like when you read the reviews, people are either obsessed with it like me or hate it. There doesn't seem to be like an in-between. People literally love or hate this foundation. I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's dewy, it's fresh, it's smooth, it feels really hydrating, it lasts a long time. It isn't transfer proof, so it's not one that I would wear like on a day I'm spending at, you know, a play centre with my kids, because they'd probably be covered in it by the end of the day. But for work or for like, you know, a normal day, it's really long wearing, it's just so fresh and dewy. It is right up my street. You can see this show you, so I've just put on my Too Faced Born This Way, and this is in the shade Almond, which is the lighter shade that I have, because coming into winter now, I'm not as tanned as I was a few weeks ago. And I'm going to set that with my Huda powder, obviously not new, but still my absolute favourite. And I really like this combo with the GU foundation, because they're both not like super matte. Like I kind of feel like when you've got such a dewy base on, then to go with a really matte concealer and, you know, under eye area kind of doesn't all like flow together. Whereas I feel like this combination with the base, where you got, you know, a bit more sort of life to your under eye and to your concealer areas, it kind of works a bit better with the Mega Dew from the foundation. So for me, hopefully you can probably see that this foundation, now everything's kind of dried down, is a pretty good match to my body. If anything, it's like a hair lighter than my body, but obviously here it's October and summer is gone. So I'm only getting lighter from here. So because this foundation is so hard to get hold of and you have to get it from America and it takes weeks to come, I decided, I was thinking I would go with, I think it's Sand is the next sort of warm tone shade up, which probably would have matched me exactly right now, but in a few weeks time, it'll be too dark. So I decided to go slightly light for now, but it's pretty good. For brows this month, I've been loving the Morphe brow products, particularly the pencil and the brow cream. I will just say that I did do an update on my review in the comments, just letting you know that once I'd used it a few times, the pencil did blunt down the really sharp edge that it started off with, because it was perfect at the front for hair-like strokes. And now that it has sort of blunted down as I've been using it, it isn't as perfect for that, but I still really like it. I still really love the shade. This is the shade Java, by the way. And don't get me wrong, it still works really nicely at the front of the brow, but when it was like new, fresh out the gate, it was literally like a dream for doing like hair-like strokes. So now probably the star product of the month for me, and this is the Hourglass Unlocked palette. Obviously this is limited edition and incredibly popular, so if you can still find it and you're thinking about it, don't hesitate, because it will be gone any day. I have a whole review on this. If you want to see it, I will link it down below. But what I've been doing is just kind of taking my Dose of Colours tapered blush brush and swirling it between the two finishing powders, and I'm just kind of setting the rest of my face with that. I don't really set my base, and I don't really like, especially when I've got such a dewy foundation, I don't want to tone the dewiness down, but with the joy of this foundation is it's so dewy, you can actually afford to use a powder on top and you don't lose the dewy effect at all. Kind of helps like tone down any transfer, and it just kind of helps with products going on top, and it just makes everything last a bit longer. And this powder is really diffusing and pore refining and all that good stuff. So that's kind of how I've been using those powders. I've been obsessed with the bronzer. I use lots of people want to know how you use your brush, and obviously because all the pans have an edge, so I just kind of sweep my brush towards the corner so it's not getting in any of the other pans. And this is a big MAC 135. But this bronzer is like really the only bronzer I've been using. It's just a perfect neutral luminous bronzer. I absolutely love it. Lots of people also have been asking about their skin tones. I don't honestly think that if you're really fair, you will have a problem using the whole palette. I think that all the shades are universal up to about an NC42. I think anything beyond that, the bronzer will be useless on you, and at least one of the blushes. But I think as far as fair skin, you know what Hourglass is like. All of their powder products are all really buildable, really soft, really subtle. And you can see how much of the bronzer I'm kind of using, and you can obviously use a really light hand and use a lot less than I'm using if you're really fair, and I think it'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't think deeper skin tones than pretty much my own are gonna get too much out of the bronzer or the blushes. That's my thoughts. I'm just going to take a little bit more of my MAC Groundwork paint pot and smudge it under my lower lash line. I do love all of the other products in here, but I have other things that I want to show you. So I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Super Glow for the rest of my highlight. I have been obsessed with this. This is the shade 2, the light medium shade. Oh, it's just perfect. I feel like you can really use this in whatever way you want. You see that first application that I gave, literally just like lit from within. The second one is kind of a moderate. You can use it wet or just keep building it up and you'll have a blinding highlight. It is just perfect and so, what's the word I'm looking for? Versatile. Actually melts into the skin. I have been really loving the highlight from the Hourglass palette as well. It is absolutely beautiful and very similar to this one in the fact that it melts in, it looks like light, it looks glowy, no texture. Between these two, I'm basically set for life. I really deeply wish that they make all of the products in that Hourglass Unlocked palette permanent, because particularly the bronzer, but the powders as well are perfect, and the blushes as well, but I feel like the highlight and the bronzer particularly, and the finishing powders. Okay, the whole palette needs to be permanent. It is just, everything is perfect. So for blush, like I said, I've been using the Hourglass palette a lot, and I have also been using my Daniel Sandler watercolor blushes a lot, especially on like school run days, because it's just so quick and easy. And like I said, I can just do Judy foundation and these and I'm good to go. So yeah, these have been absolutely beautiful. I have a whole review on these, so I'm going to use a different blush today, but I will link the full review and you can see what I think of these, but it's all good things. So the blush I'm going to use today is the MAC Fairly Precious blush, which I picked up recently. Now this is another good one for me for like school run days, because I literally swirled my brush 100 times in there before I put it on, and it's just so risk-free. It's like the perfect glowy peachy shade, and I can use the heaviest hand even for me possible and nothing bad will happen. It's just really soft and subtle and buildable and just kind of gives you a soft subtle glow. I don't even, when I'm using this foundation and these products, I never even use a setting spray, because if you can just see, everything looks like skin. Everything is just melted in and dewy and fresh and youthful and skin looking and glowy. So I don't feel the need for a setting spray or a finishing spray like a MAC Fix Plus. I don't feel a need for it anymore, because it's just, this foundation just so skin-like and pretty. So I had a couple of lipsticks that I picked up this month I've been obsessed with. Both from MAC. I had a back to MAC and I picked up the shade Coral Bliss, which is this gorgeous, obviously, coral colour with a creme sheen finish, so it's really glossy, really shiny finish, and I've been really loving this. I picked this up on Nikia Joy's recommendation. The other one I picked up is the MAC Tender Talk lip balm. So this is like a lip balm with a hint of colour, and this is the shade Pretty Me Up, which is a really sheer wash of coral colour, and this I've been using like every single day. It's so hydrating and moisturising. Obviously it's perfect for like work or school run, where you just want to kind of tone your lips down a bit, keep them hydrated, and have a little hint of colour that just looks like very natural and very soft. And it just, for winter, these are perfect. I don't know if they were limited edition, but they don't have them on the MAC website. I got mine from Selfridges, where they still have them. And I'm hoping they're going to bring them back, because they're just so nice and hydrating and comfortable on the lips, and I just have been loving it. And that is everything I have to show you for my favourites for the month of September. Oh my god, it's nearly Christmas. It's nearly Christmas. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe before you go so we can see each other again. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.